Guess I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Hello, audience, all over the internet, probably the whole world right now, Phil. I wanted to introduce my friend, Phil the Connector. Um, he is somebody that I met on accident. I saw your post, Phil, on Facebook. I don't know, was it like 6 months ago or more?
Yes.
And I just loved your energy. I loved just the fact, honestly, it was just the fact that you call yourself Phil the Connector. I was
Right.
like, he's my kind of person. And just watching you, I just love the way that you connect people. You always are like introducing me to new people, and you're just really a person that has a lot of integrity. And I feel like your old job was sales. Probably shouldn't give that away, but I really
That's okay.
appreciate how transparently awesome you are. Let's just say that. So, why don't you tell
All right.
people a little bit about you and your background and how you came to what you're doing now?
Sure. I love it. Thank you for the opportunity. I come from sales. That's how I always kind of start. I did cold calling for 40 years. I've been in sales, and 33 of it has been all cold calling because I didn't know anything about networking. So I did like MCI long distance service. I was a telemarketer. I
Oh,
did door to door merchant services. I sold cars. Pretty much you name it, I sold it. Right.
wow.
And my school, if you will, I didn't go to college for it or anything like that. My school was all those MLMs that you join and listen to all the tapes and driving from appointment to appointment and just training myself, right? Because I
Yeah,
didn't know any better. So numbers never lie. So if you do enough cold calling, you're going to win, right?
yeah.
And so I accidentally invited to a BNI group in 2018, and that was my introductory to business networking. And everyone
And
will do this one-to-one thing.
well, just so that people
Yep.
know, because there's probably people who don't know what BNI is, can you just explain what that is a
Oh,
little
sure.
bit?
Yeah, BNI is the largest platform for networking. It's called Business Networking International. And you go to these groups, and the idea is that everybody's supposed to bring you referrals. And
Mhm.
because as you tell about it and you go to the meetings and you build those deeper relationships. Um, and so I kind of went crazy with it. Like I do everything. I put 120% in, and I did 500 one-to-ones my first year.
Oh my God. That sounds exhausting. How did you do it?
I was so tired every day, but I started to see patterns, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to say I'm at this coffee shop on Tuesday and this one on Wednesday and this one on whatever. And I hired somebody, a VA
Yeah.
type person, and they would just, I'd take pictures of all the cards when I'd go in,
Yeah.
and then I'd send those pictures to them, and they would go back and forth with another phone I had, and they thought it was me, and we're setting up the meeting. And so I just sit in a coffee shop, and they come in every hour on the hour.
Wow.
And then
That
I
is
started seeing patterns, like I'm a
like
systems
what?
guy.
Yeah.
I'll be like, "Oh, you're in wellness or you're in whatever. You should meet these 5 people." So after the meeting, I would sit and do these text introductions to people, and that was my favorite part because I'd see them
Mm.
go back and forth, ding, 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 and then they set their meeting, right?
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to me, I'm creating a brand, but I didn't even know what I was doing.
Yeah.
When I first started, I was like selling websites,
Right.
but as Phil the Connector, and then I sold another thing as Phil the Connector, and I just kept doing that. And we started our community. We'll lead into that in a minute, but just about 14 months ago, and you joined
Wow.
pretty early on.
It was that
So
long ago? I
yeah,
wow. Okay. It's been time is like just it's a thing that I don't even recognize as being real. So it could have been like,
I think you've been in our community for a year.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. So yeah, the cool thing about so I also come from a background where I'm a natural connector with
Mhm.
people, and I love people when I meet them, but I'm always the kind of person who's like, okay, we're best friends now. Bye. And then I don't do the parts after that naturally that
Mhm.
need to happen. It was not something I was taught how to do. And it's
Mhm.
just like, especially for people who like to give a lot and to, you know, meet people, and but like that can be really hard to do the part after that, which is keeping up with people and figuring out how they fit strategically
Mhm.
into your life. So, can you tell me and the audience, like, give us a couple tips on how to keep, because that can get to be a lot of work and a lot of organization.
Yes. So what we've morphed into, we first started out, we were going to be I didn't want to do meetings, so we were
Yeah.
like building the next LinkedIn, but a private invite only LinkedIn. And what we've morphed into is teaching people what to do after that one-to-one. So I
Mm.
really love the question because now we've really built it out.
Yeah.
So most people, like you said, they meet someone, it's awesome,
Oh,
they have that one interaction, and then they move on.
yeah.
And our system will have you stay in contact with them and they'll engage back with you when they're ready. And then we teach you how to let them stay on your email list. But like, for example, in our first year, we got 300 introductions by asking for introductions,
Right. Wow.
right? And then now that we've really homed in on what this program is, we're on track for 540 introductions this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And yeah, because like when I've been in the group, and I don't even utilize the group the way I should,
Hmm.
like people have a lot of things, especially in business. And so just keeping up with the things we have in front of us can get
Hmm.
really hard. But
Hmm.
I would say that, I used to do a lot of travel, and that's how I would connect with people. I'm not doing that as much anymore. So having your community where you can literally meet other people who want to connect because they're in the group, and they might have, like minded audiences. There's all sorts of reasons to want to have these, connections with people. But
Sure.
like, yeah, that's been a little overwhelming sometimes, even to me, to have so much opportunity. How have you felt like as you've been figuring things out, how have you worked out to how to make it easier for people? Because I
Oh,
do
great.
feel like that's,
So I love that question. And I was thinking back when you joined, it was May because I was in Yellowstone. I remember.
yeah,
So when you joined, I'm going to call it, you joined the 1.0 version,
yeah,
right? We had one membership type, everybody was getting thrown in, and then I just assumed everybody would start connecting, right? Because
yeah,
that's what I do.
yes,
So we now have traction. We developed this about October, November, and now our traction is starting to happen because we introduced two other programs. One is a
mhm,
done with you and one is a done for you. And
yeah,
so the done with you is becoming our most popular where we introduce you to a couple people every week so
yeah,
that you don't forget about using it. And we strategically make those introductions.
yeah,
So, like people that can actually refer you business. How do you keep up with it? Well, that's another program that we've developed where we'll actually automate that entire process for you. So, all you have to do is show up to the meeting, be
mm,
awesome, educate people on what you do. I'm going to teach you how to sell stuff with only educating.
yeah,
So you never sell them, you just educate. And when that person's ready, they'll
yeah,
raise their hand and say, hey, I need your service. We call those the accidental sale. But
yeah,
where the real money is staying in contact with all those power partners so that 9 months from now, 12 months from now, when they have a referral for you, they can simply send it to you. But people make it so hard to do that
yeah.
because now they've forgotten all about them.
Yeah, that's so true. What I like about your program too is I don't necessarily have to log into the group. You send me text messages or other messages. I don't know if that's the way it is for everybody or if I'm just
Yep.
special. Um,
We started out so yeah, great. I'm glad you said that. Because it's hard to start a business, and we did
yeah,
go from $0 and zero people in our world. And I
yeah,
did that on purpose. We and now a year into it, we're over $100,000 a year,
yeah,
and we have 1,100 people on our email list, but 500 of them are referring business back to us because we're staying in contact with them,
yeah, that's
right?
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and so our open rate's like 56% on our affiliate program.
Wow.
Um, so, um, so yes, when I first started, I was grabbing the text and doing the traditional text messaging and all that stuff, and it just was not scalable.
Yes.
So, right, because I get done with a meeting and then have to do the text, I just couldn't do it. So, my wife came in. She's got 20 years of admin experience, which I'm
Yeah,
so happy this business was allowed her to leave her job just last week.
awesome.
So
Last
praise
week.
God. Yeah, last week.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah.
huge. I remember when it was the dream.
It was the dream, and now we got
Yeah,
it. So
that's
I guess it
awesome.
was 2 weeks ago now. So she's now getting to do what she wants, which is watch her niece and
Yeah,
just have fun with her this summer. So,
amazing.
anyways, but she's got 20 years of admin, and she's going to come in the back end
Yeah.
and make it all beautiful. And now she's figured out how to make this automation thing where she does the introductions, and she has more plans. But
Yeah.
So anyways, now we have a system where I can literally show up to a call. Somebody
Yeah.
says they want to join and I can say, boom, you're joined. And then she handles the rest, which is what I needed. Right.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. That's the thing that I've learned about people, you know, people who tend to be better connectors, I feel like also tend not to like we are just go, go, go. And the systems part of it, we're figuring it out as we go. You need that person. Like I have my assistant, you have your wife and people who help you. Like you need the people on the back end because that's not where your magic is. Your magic
mhm,
is in just creating those connections, getting to know people.
right.
I remember when you first started, you were doing how many calls a day were you doing? Were you just meeting
Oh,
people?
I have it sitting over here. I was averaging 80 to 100 one-to-ones for the first year,
Wow.
a month,
Yeah. So,
and going crazy because I had to get the message out. And then on
yeah,
top of that, I would do my meetings and then call 15 or 20 people every day because I was
yeah,
the closer and everything, right? So it was nuts. But now we got into this groove where the
yeah.
referrals are coming in, and that's the beauty, guys.
Mm,
When the referrals come in and then they close at 90%. I got a phone call with a guy today and he
wow.
goes, "Oh, this guy says yes. Okay, I'll buy." Right?
Amazing. Yeah,
It's amazing when you get to the referral world.
yeah.
It's just fantastic. 90% close, right?
That's kind of why I went towards you also is because when I had my old any other business I've had, it was very much referral based, and that was
Mhm,
easy for me. I
mhm,
find it to be much harder now that I'm not in my old like it was local business. Now I'm like national business. And it's much harder to find the right people that you to partner with, the right people outside of my industry because my industry was all I knew before.
mhm.
So the fact that you've opened the gate and really opened my eyes to other industries, other people, you've introduced me to really some fantastic people that I am still connected to, a bunch of them. And and it's interesting too because you're taking I don't know what your magic you're a matchmaker, I guess, like I'm a matchmaker in my world,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
you're taking what you understand about people and you're figuring out a way to match people pretty well, I would say. So do you have a system for that that you've
Yes.
created?
So
Yeah.
it's really the basic networking system, and all I've done is eliminated the meetings. So
Mm,
think of us as your fractional sales force that's going out, kissing all the frogs, and finding the best of the best, the cream of the crop.
yeah.
And the reason I'm getting the best of the best is because I'm asking for the referral or the introduction, and you're only going to introduce me to high quality people, right?
Yeah.
Because your name is on the line for that introduction.
Yeah.
So imagine getting just this slew of amazing people coming to you. So the
Yeah.
quality is really high.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true because 'cause I've introduced you to some people that I wouldn't I'm very choosy about, like, who I wanna introduce you to, so
and they're already pre-sold by the time they get here. That's the point, guys, is the
yeah,
referral, right?
yeah,
But if you said they're awesome and you're introducing to me, that's what we're building here is human meeting human. And
yep,
then all of a sudden it's like magic happens,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
That's really cool. And remember in the beginning when we were talking last year, I think what you didn't understand, and you might have talked about this, is like there are people like me, we might be good connectors, but like the thing that you do is so draining to my energy. Like that I don't want to do that. I don't want to do what you're doing. And
mhm,
so you've really dialed into something that people need as they're growing their
mhm.
businesses. And you've made it easy to connect. So can you tell us about the group that you have, like what
Oh, sure.
programs you're offering and how that works?
Yeah,
And
I love that. And then to answer your question real quick before I go into that, I realize I missed it. Is we match people up by industry, so we match you up in a way that you're one connection away from your actual customer.
mm,
So that's what a strategic partner is, someone that's selling a different service to your client.
yes.
So by doing that, it's beautiful because you're not ever having to sell anything. You just educate people, right?
Yeah.
How's our community work? Again, we don't do meetings. We're going to be the next LinkedIn, but
Yeah.
with real people. And what I mean by that is all their contact information so you can actually reach out to them. Calendar links, email, phone number, so you can actually do a one-to-one with those people because
Yeah.
that's where the magic is.
Yeah.
So we just distill it all down. We don't have any meetings. You come into our community and we have a DIY version, a done with you and a done for you. You can come to a tour. There's no cost to that, of course. You'll meet other awesome people, but that tour is the only time you'll ever meet with us.
Yeah.
Then you go right on and do your one-to-ones,
Mm,
because that's where the magic is. And that's
yeah.
where we've gotten really good, is speeding up collaborations and JVs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And because we're like, you should meet this person.
Explain JV for anybody
Oh,
out there.
yes. And I'm learning it too. So
Yeah.
joint venture, or this is not a partnership. Never
Yeah.
partner your business with somebody else. You're just in one aspect, this one event. You're partnering with them to share lists and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And you do that one event. If it goes well, do another event. Right,
Yeah.
that's a JV, right?
Yeah.
Or a collaboration might
Yeah.
be, let's actually put our products together. Maybe every time someone signs up for your program, they get my program or whatever. Maybe we go
Yeah.
that deep, so those are more collaborations. But
You can get
um,
creative with it.
yeah, but I would strongly encourage you not to, you don't give away percentage of your company or anything like that. These are standalone deals that you're doing with somebody. That way, if it doesn't work out, you just move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. So tell me a little bit more about like what is like the basic level of the done
The
not done.
DIY.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the DIY one.
So we call it Simple Connect. People come in, we help them fill out their profile, and they literally can just go through the directory. I just looked today before we got on here, we're at 284 members.
Cool.
So you go through and you start reading the profiles, and you're looking for people that would be a good power partner for you.
Yeah.
And then you just book yourself on their calendar or reach out by email,
Yeah.
right? Like I had a gal come in here. She was selling a service. She was a big caller, so she called 50 people a day, blah blah blah. So she got through my list pretty quickly, but she
Wow.
got 12 customers.
Wow.
And yeah, and just calling, right? Because right place, right time. And I
Yeah.
tell people that all the time. Then she was gonna cancel, and I said, well, wait a minute, you're just scratched the surface. You now need to go back and build those relationships, because it's the referrals that you really want. You'll get your
Yeah.
accidental sales, but the referrals, right? And
Yeah.
so that's kind of how it works. But she was on the DIY thing, and I was like, you just got to go back and rebuild those relationships.
Yeah. So how much is it to join if you're doing DIY?
DIY right now is $147 a month.
Okay.
And if you do our middle package, it's called Connect Plus. It's $347 a month, and that's where we introduce you to 2 people every single week, over
Yeah.
100 a year.
Wow.
And if you want us to take over completely, you were on this program for a little bit.
Or-
We'll take your calendar link and theirs, and we'll put them directly on your calendar, and you just show up. That one is $600 a month, but well worth the price,
Yeah.
because you don't even come into the community.
Yeah, it's like you have
So,
somebody doing all the work for you. And
mhm.
it is work to try to figure out, because people are so busy. Like anybody who has a business, we have all of the things on our plate. And so it's almost like sales and marketing, even though they're the most important thing, sometimes we're not getting to that part. And
Mhm.
really, if you can start to think more strategically, this is exactly what it should be. Like it should be all about partnerships, these JV, being in a community like yours. And when you say you don't have to do meetings, I think what a lot of people probably don't understand is a lot of groups will have, virtual meetings, or
Oh,
the
right.
BNI has a weekly meeting. You have to go. You can never not go. Or you have to like
Mhm.
have somebody sit in your place. And that can be a lot of energy and effort and time. And so you're making it very easy. Your connections are really very high caliber connections. And yeah, so I is there anything else you want to talk about with this?
No, I just wanted to talk to the high quality, because
Yeah,
again, people are only introducing me to their best friends, right?
yeah,
And someone that is doing something super cool or whatever. And so the quality of the people coming in here are just amazing.
yeah.
So
It really is true. Like there's been a couple times when I was nervous about meeting somebody because I was like, I'm not sure if we're gonna match up. And then I had the best connection with them. And I don't always see upfront what the connection might be. And that's part
right.
of in a way, it's part of the fun is, we get to talk a little bit about like, tell me about your stuff and figure out why you thought of us being connected when we were
Yeah.
doing that, but
And again, you were in 1.0. Now the
yeah.
2.0, we do actually tell you why we're making that introduction.
Yes,
And
yeah.
so you can get, and that was actually came from you. So thank you.
Oh, you're
Because you would
welcome.
say, what did you say to me? Hey, can you give me their names so I can go research them and figure out
Yeah,
who they are? And I was like,
yeah,
oh. And then other people started asking that. I go, oh, I guess we better do that.
yeah. And it wasn't, I mean, it's not that difficult, but honestly, like that happens to me all the time in my business where there's things that you're so deep in it, you don't see like what might be the simple thing for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
well, I really, really appreciate your time. I love watching everything you're doing. I'm not somebody who loves like people who I'm not going to say I don't love salespeople, you guys. It's just not, they're not my people all the time. And I will say that you are definitely one of my people. I will sing your praises to everybody. And I think that it's really important if people are doing, work, trying to build a business where you need that kind of connection in a national way. And do you just stick with America right now?
So we're going worldwide now. We have about
Amazing.
3 clients in England, and it's starting to grow. So we now say we're looking for any business that can do business worldwide, but offers a business service.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I
if you
met
offer a
somebody
business
from
service,
England. So I think I did meet somebody from England.
yeah, you
Well,
did. Karen, I believe.
yeah. Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
Phil, thank you so much for everything that you've done for me. You've really taught me a lot about, having strategic partnerships and just introduced me to a whole different world of people. And I'm so grateful. And I hope that other people reach out and learn more about the group. It's well worth the money.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is my biggest joy right here is that when you get connected and the stories afterwards about
Yeah.
how it came out, not just the money, but like, oh, I made a friendship. Like you sent me a picture
Oh,
when you met Mark, you happened to live next
yes.
to him.
I love Mark. Well, I don't live next to him. I happened
Oh,
to be in Florida
oh,
near him at the time that I met him. I'm like, I need to meet you tomorrow. And I just drove to where he was. So
isn't
that
that
was
awesome?
great. Yeah, and he's awesome. And Nigel and Jake, and there's so many other people that I've met that I
Yeah,
really have just connected with really
yeah,
well. So thank you for that.
no
And
problem.
anybody who has any questions, feel free to reach out to me as well. Believe it or not, I'm actually not selling anything. I just love Phil, the connector. That's why I'm here.
Thank you.
So thanks,
I
Phil,
appreciate that.
of course. Mm.